Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and if this is your first time here, or you've been here before but have not subscribed yet, please do so, along with hitting that thumbs up button for me. And also, when you do subscribe, turn on a notification bell. That way you're alerted when I drop videos. And we are going to be putting out a lot of content during the season. Had a nice break in the summer. Started, gearing up in the preseason, but this is the video that launches the season for us. It's where I go through every single game and make my best guess prediction. Last season when I did this, I arrived at an exact 47 wins, which is exactly where the Knicks ended up being. So let's hope they do better than what I'm predicting this year, or at least as well, because I think you'll be happy by the number. The other thing is, remember, because this is the first season with an in-season tournament, 3 of the games are to be determined. So it's hard to guess how the Knicks are going to end up winning. So the win total is going to mount up to 79 wins, not the 82, normally 82. But if the Knicks do well in the group stage of the in-season tournament, they will continue into the tournament and might even, who knows, get to the championship. But then there'll be games that will be scheduled within their conference, but all teams will end up playing 82 games in total, no matter what. The other thing is, in the previous videos that I've done like this, I go through almost every single game. This time, I'm going to do it in batches, going on a month-by-month basis. I may call out a game here and there. But in general, I look at it in batches. So here we go. The New York Knicks predictions for October, beginning with... Here we go. Knicks are going to start off a little bit slow. Those first 4 games. They're tough ones. They're tough games. 2-2. I got us winning the first game of the season against Boston. The Knicks have done it before. They played Boston very well. And I think they're going to be amped up for it, especially at MSG. I'd love to see us start off with a win. Either way, it's going to be a competitive game, I would imagine. And then I have us losing to Cleveland in Cleveland, because the first game, it's a back-to-back. They play Cleveland on Halloween, and then the very next day they fly to MSG, or that night they fly to MSG to play the very next day the same team, Cleveland. So I'm going to have those them splitting those 2 games. And plus, I just think the Cavs are going to try and make up for their first round tragic loss to the Knicks by trying to show up on their home floor for their home fans. And then, as you see, these gray boxes, they indicate the in-season tournament games that qualify for that. They play against Milwaukee, the Wizards, the Heat, and Charlotte. The Knicks kind of have Charlotte's number. I think we stack up well with Miami and, of course, the Wizards. And we're going to have to travel from MSG to Milwaukee. We'll probably drop that very first game, especially with the new revamped Bucks with Dame Lillard. So there it is right there. The Knicks are going to start off October 2-2, but then catch fire in November, finish 10-4 in November to have a total record of 12-6 by November 30th. All right, let's move on. Move on here. Ready? Now we're going to move on to December. December is going to be an interesting month. It's going to be very interesting because they play a lot of teams several times. So they play Milwaukee twice. They play Toronto twice. Toronto back-to-back. And in between that first week of December 1st and December 11th, that's where the in-season tournament games are going to be played. And that's where if the Knicks don't qualify, then they'll have to play conference teams in there. So it's hard to predict that. But in essence, it's always hard to beat the same team twice in a row, especially, quality teams. So this is what a lot of these teams are to me. I mean, there's a lot of parity this year, even like the Orlandos and the Detroits. No one's easy this season at all. But I do predict that the Knicks will end up plus 500 in December, 7-5 record, and they will finish. They play the Pacers on December 30th, and they will take that game down. One of the major losses I have here is against OKC, because I really think OKC is going to be this season's Sacramento Kings. They're going to pop. I don't know if they're going to, win their division like the Kings did, but they're going to be one of the top end teams. I have a feeling on that. So I got the Knicks dropping there, but I do have us picking up a win. We play back-to-back against Milwaukee right there, the 23rd and the 25th, Christmas Day. I actually have us drop in the Christmas Day game, but who knows? It could go either way. Could flip-flop one of those two. But I just don't see the Knicks losing 2 games in a row to the Bucks, especially at MSG. If we do, we're going to have some problems. Or it'll just determine what type of team this is. Is this the type of team that is like butting their head against that upper tier that's above them? Right now, they are a playoff qualifying team. They qualified for the playoffs last season. They did not have to go into play-in, and they won that first round against the Cavs. Are they in that similar realm, or has the continuity that they brought forth from last season, and with an addition of Dante DiVincenzo, is that enough to make them congeal and actually be a more efficient team, a more productive team, especially and defensively, which is what they're going to need? And could that mean they start butting their head up against the upper level there and maybe steal some games from that upper crust, which is like the Celtics upper crust, the Bucks upper crust? I see the Knicks below those two, in the tier below, with, you know, the Miamis, with the Sixers, teams like that. So that's how I'm looking at it. Then we jump to January in 2024. The Knicks are going to have a nice January, 10-6. They play 16 games in January. It's going to be a pretty jammed season, month right there. I have us drop in the game against Memphis on January 13th because by then Ja Morant will probably be back and he will be chomping at the bit, and he always likes to, you know, show up big against the Knicks, and that game is in Memphis. Another notable game I have us here is the Sixers on January 5th. I just like the way we stack up against the Sixers. And finally, by this point, I think Mitch Robinson is going to finally start being able to somewhat impede Embiid, so that he doesn't dominate the way he has in the past. That's what I'm looking at here. All right, let's move forward to February. Here we go. Now, in February, Knicks play 12 games. They're going to win 8 of them. 8-4 in February. Notable games here are the Lakers at MSG on February 3rd. I have us losing that game. Though it pains me because I don't like to lose to the Lakers on our home court there, but you can see that happen. As you can see, Memphis comes in and the Knicks do get their revenge and win that game. Jalen Brunson takes care of business against Dallas there at MSG, though I do have us dropping the game when we play in Dallas. I think it comes up later on in the season. The one game I was kind of struggling with here was the Golden State Warriors game. It's hard. It's interesting to know how the Knicks are going to stack up against that team. Obviously, you know, if they're hitting their buckets, they're really tough to beat. But if they're struggling at all, and we have a decent ability to impact to impact the opponent's field goal percentage in a positive way for us, so I think we might be able to steal that game. I have us as a win, though I could easily see us dropping that game. But as I'm saying, these are in batches. Some games I'm hedging towards a win that's maybe really too close to call, and vice versa. I'm calling some games a loss, like the March 3rd game against Cleveland. I'm calling that a loss in Cleveland. Again, Knicks could easily take that game. Another notable win here. So Philadelphia, we play a back-to-back here. Philadelphia, not back-to-back days, but back-to-back games. We have several of these for some reason. We have it against Chicago. I showed you Milwaukee, Toronto. So it's really unusual schedule this season. So I have us splitting those 2 games with the Sixers. And then I actually have us taking that game in Golden State. After dropping the game against the Kings, I have us taking that game against Golden State. So that's what I mean. I think that could split in reality. May have gone a little too far with that one. We're going to drop the game against the Nuggets. The Nuggets are just too damn good. And let's see here. Oh, of course, all of this depends on health. If the Knicks stay healthy and all these other teams stay healthy, this is the way I see things playing out. However, the Knicks have a higher propensity to be healthier than other teams. Their key players, let's say, they're healthier. So that really impacts them positively as the season wears on. All right, so then the Knicks are going to finish March 8-5. So 8-4 February, 8-5 in March, rolling in. So nice positive wins rolling into the final month of the season, which is April. 8 games in April. Usually there's only 4. 8 games in April. Here we go. Knicks are going to finish 4-4 because by this point, the Knicks record, they'll be in the playoffs. We won't be struggling for play-in, and some of these opponents that we will be playing, as it happened last season, will be struggling for the play-in or trying to get out of the play-in. So it might be a tougher matchups for us. Even though Thibs doesn't like to quote rest players, he did end up having to rest Julius Randle the last 2 seasons towards the end of the year. Now, we had Obi then, so that was kind of an added incentive to do that. We'll see how this goes. But I just don't see Thibs playing everybody at towards the end if we are pretty firmly in like the 5th seed or the 4th seed. I just don't see Thibs overdoing it at this point. I know it's hard. I'm actually predicting an unusual season for a Thibs team, where we get off to a good start and kind of a bit shaky in the middle, and then finish strong, except for the very, very last few weeks of the season. So this is what I'm predicting here. This Knicks going to finish 4-4. Are you ready? Are you ready? A grand total of 49 wins. Now, that's on a 79 game schedule. So that's a 62% winning percentage. 49 wins, 30 losses. There's 3 games up in the air. The Knicks could easily finish 52 wins. But that would mean they'd win the championship of the in-season tournament. But let's say they get into the group stage, they get out of the group stage into the tournament, and they win the first game there. So the Knicks could finish 50-32. We've been wanting that 50-win season where we're really close here. 49 wins with 3 wins up in the air. I feel very good about this prediction. There's a lot of players that have a lot to prove, especially the younger guys like RJ, Emmanuel Quickley, Quentin Grimes, even Mitch Robinson. He's got a lot to prove himself. And we're going to have a whole full season of Josh Hart, where last year when he came to this team, it just was unbelievable, electrified us after the trade deadline. Now we're going to have a full season of him, and we're going to have a full season of Dante DiVincenzo. So the one major caveat here, the next thing that concern is the size. One thing is when I'm predicting these things, I am actually giving Thibs the benefit of the doubt that he will be able to figure out how to make up for that lack of size in that second unit, especially at the 4 spot. I think as the season wears on, Thibs will figure it out. Somebody will step up, or Leon will make some kind of a key acquisition to give you the Obi type of production that he was giving us, but he won't be somebody of on that level trying to fight for his rookie extension. It'll be probably an older player, someone in his maybe late 20s, maybe even in his early 30s that they'll bring in to help solidify that position if it becomes a concern. I'm actually giving Thibs the benefit of the doubt here that he will be able to figure it out, and the New York Knicks will finish 49-30. Most likely, if this is correct, most likely they will get to that 50, that magical 50 number, 50 wins, which will be good enough for at least the 5th seed, possibly the 4th seed. Now remember, a lot of parity. So 49, anything over 47 wins is going to get you a pretty decent seed in the Eastern Conference. All right, the other thing that I'm going to predict is I predict that the New York Knicks will get out of the second round. Now I know what that means. That means they will get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Why do I feel this way? All right, 2 factors. The first one is the two teams to beat are no doubt the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks. The odds that both of those teams will be healthy at the end of this, but towards the end of this season, through the whole season, that they'll be healthy, aren't good. They're not good. Beginning with the Celtics, lots of games, lots of minutes on those tires that they have. They are a tired bunch. they are a tired bunch. They have played many, many more games than most of the other teams in the past 5 seasons, along also as well with the Miami Heat, which I barely even talked about. I think age and mileage is going to catch up to those two teams. Then the Bucks as well. The Bucks have suffered from injuries as well. And now they have Dame Lillard, so that might offset that. However, Dame has also had some time. He's getting older where he's had some injuries here and there. So I think there's going to be someone that's vulnerable again, as they were last season. One of the top 2 seeds is going to be vulnerable and may not make it, and won't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. And the team that can slip in and pull the Miami and get in there to the Eastern Conference Finals will be the Knicks this season. And a lot of it is based on just this, all the young players, the whole team itself have the potential to all be better than they were last season. All of them. Brunson could average 27, 28 a game. Randall can average, the same, but with more efficiency. RJ, if RJ averages the 20, but with more efficiency, boom. Emmanuel Quickley. Quentin Grimes could explode. He could explode. His shot looked great in the preseason game. He hit 7 of 12 3-point shots in that 3rd game of the preseason. Awesome. Or was it the 2nd game? Either one. I'm expecting very big things from these Knicks. There you go. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. 49 wins. I think it's really going to be closer to 50. I think it's going to be 50 wins. 50 wins for the New York Knicks. But, it's hard to predict that with 3 games outstanding. All right. Well, there it is. Thank you so much for watching this. Again, my name is George, and if you have not subscribed yet, please do so, along with turning on the notification bell. I will be trying to do some pregame live shows. I'm having some issues with my live streaming, but I'll be trying to get that going again. But I'll always be doing the recaps and the analysis videos in between, so please stay tuned to the Knicks-Verse. This is where, just call it like I see it. I've been waiting. I've been waiting for a very long time for a ring. Not saying this is the season, but this could be that season where the Knicks set themselves up to compete next season. That's the way I'm looking at it, to actually compete for a title next season. That's how I'm looking at this. All right. Thank you for watching this. Please subscribe, and I will see you around the Knicks-Verse.